In a quiet town, there lived an investor named Sam, who prided himself on making careful choices in life, from his investments to his daily routines. Sam believed he made logical decisions based on pure reason. But as he learned, decisions aren't always as rational as they seem. One crisp autumn morning, Sam received 2 letters from investment firms. Each letter was proposing a mutual fund. The first letter, written in bold, promising words, exclaimed, "This fund has consistently delivered an impressive 10% return over the last 3 years." The second letter took a more cautious approach. "This mutual fund has historically high returns, though it's been underperforming in the last few years." Sam read both offers carefully. On the surface, they both described the same fund, yet his mind kept gravitating toward the first letter. It felt safe, positive, and optimistic. "I like this one," he thought, imagining steady growth and gains without too much risk. The second letter, however, seemed to tug at his nerves, mentioning underperforming and past highs, which sparked an unwelcome feeling. He wanted security, not potential loss. Later that evening, Sam met his friend Jessica, a psychology enthusiast, at a coffee shop. After explaining the 2 offers, Jessica smiled knowingly and said, "Sam, I think you've just fallen under the spell of prospect theory." "Prospect theory?" Sam repeated, curious. Jessica nodded. "It's a theory by Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman. They found that people usually value gains and losses differently. You see, Sam, if someone frames an investment in terms of what you stand to gain, you're more likely to choose it. But if someone frames it in terms of losses, even if the end result is the same, you're more hesitant." As they talked, Jessica explained more. "We also have something called the certainty effect. It means we prefer definite outcomes over probable ones, even if we might lose out on a better chance." She leaned forward, pointing to Sam's 2 letters. "That first offer made you feel certain of your gains, right? But the second one, while honest, felt risky because it admitted some losses." Sam chuckled, realizing how true her words were. He had indeed preferred the letter that made the gains look simple and reliable, even if the actual data were identical in both. "So I was swayed by the way it was framed?" Jessica nodded. "That's exactly it, and it happens to everyone. Kahneman and Tversky's theory tells us that losses feel stronger than gains. In fact, people will often avoid risk if it means protecting what they have, even when the risk could lead to better outcomes." Armed with new insight, Sam went home and reviewed both offers again, this time with Jessica's words in mind. He tried not to think in terms of just the gains or losses, but of the overall value of each option. The next morning, he called both firms, asking detailed questions about the fund's potential for long-term growth and resilience to market dips. Finally, Sam made his choice. It wasn't just the fund with the most optimistic framing. It was the one he understood and believed in the most. And as he signed the papers, he thought back to what Jessica had said. Understanding these biases might not always make decision-making easier, but it certainly makes it wiser. In the end, Sam felt he'd grown as both an investor and a person. After all, prospect theory had shown him not just how to choose, but how to think beyond his own instincts and emotions.